This year we are, as you can see, at the Maple on Board Vanguard booth, who's very kindly giving us some space so we can do the reviews and the interviews straight from here, which means that we have loads and loads, as in dozens of games that we want to show you. Welcome to So Play We All at Spiel 2024. And now we're going back to Singapore, but not just Singapore, Singapore 1889.
Yep, that's right.
I love games that reflect the culture of the places that they come from.
Yes,
And I get the feeling that this is going to be doing just that.
precisely.
Tell me about Singapore 1889.
Okay, so Singapore used to be a British colony, and this is set in, of course, the year indicate 1889. So what happened during that period of time is that there is secret society running amok in Singapore, and they are terrorizing all the merchants. And what the British is coming in is that they are coming in to clamp down on the secret society, this thing called a British Ordinance. But before that, we as a merchant trying to survive during this period of turbulence, and we are trying to work with both the British and the secret society. So in this game, the secret society is going around confiscating all the most valuable commodity at that point of time. So we got salted fish, we got opium over here, which is a favorite at that time. And you got like joss paper, porcelain. So a lot of these goods are traded, some of the main trading goods in Singapore at that point of time. And what happened in this game is that the secret society will be confiscating all these cards over here. And let's say the more they confiscate, the higher value you'll be your goods will be. So in the game, what as a player does is that what I do is that I take one commodities over here, and I activate the power over here. And then what will happen is that the secret society will confiscate the goods based on the number of British flags on the table. So in this case, let's say there are 3 British flags on the table. The secret society will confiscate this, and it will go up into the secret society stash. Okay. Why is this important? Because this will act as the point counter to reflect how much point you'll get at the end of the game. So at the end of the game, we will have 7 cards. So you play this game for 6 rounds, and we have 7 cards. And let's say, if I do have 2 joss paper, I will take 2 multiplied by 1 over here, and I will get 2 points over here. And my salted fish, there's nothing over here. It will be 1 times 0. So in this case, I only have 2 points. Okay, so this is a simplified way, but of course, as you play along, there will be more and more things stacking into the secret society stash, and that's where things get interesting. Okay, so the interesting part of the mechanics is that you draw a card, you can activate the power on the card over here. So each of them are having amazing symbol. So this one is basically telling you that you can look at the top card over here, and you can give this card either to a secret society stash, or you can put it under the deck in this game. Okay. Then you collect this card, after which, if you take the card under the secret society, you can move it around. So based on this, I may want to confiscate things that I have, but in this case, I don't have anything, so maybe I just move over to here, and I replenish the cards. So is there 3 British flags? If there isn't any, secret society doesn't get to confiscate the item below here. Okay, then the next player goes, and they'll take a card, and they'll activate the card. Okay, so the cards, each of them will basically have a play. Example like T over here, it allows the player, if you take identity, it allows the player to take 1 card from here and exchange it in my hand. So you see over here, salted fish is literally worthless. Joss paper is worth 1 point over here. So I would want to take the joss paper in, and I switch the salted fish out over here. And then that would basically improve my hand over here. Okay, so the game goes on and keep on going, and it will end once we have 7 cards, and the game will end. Okay, so the tricky part of this game is that there will be a lot of tuck and pull among the different players. They will be trying to manipulate here to their favor. Okay, and your job is to, of course, to watch what are they doing, to make sure that you are getting all the most precious commodity that they are also getting. But the interesting part is that the more commodity that they get on their hand, the less possibility that it will come over here and they will score less. So sometimes you may need to be speculative and try to speculate forward, saying that, hey, come, salted fish, nobody's doing that. So salted fish will be inside the deck. You'll eventually have a lot of salted fish inside the market, and you'll be flooded with salted fish, and the secret society will have to confiscate salted fish. And that is how you actually try to win the game. You'll not only look at what other people do as flow, you'll try to predict the future trend, judging on what are the cards that other players are picking. Because the more cards that they pick into their hand, the less cards you will have at the secret society over here.
Again, a very thinky game. There's an awful lot to keep in mind as to what you're doing. I love the mini kind of hand building
Yes, that's
mechanism to it.
Yes.
I think because it's not a deck building,
right. It's not that building.
but it's a hand building that you have to maximize.
Yes, that's right.
I love that.
I will say that I've been asking customer to name this mechanic. I think it's quite an original mechanic.
Yeah.
Asking them name a similar mechanic with other games. People was like, yeah, this looks quite new and original.
Yeah.
And this is currently our top seller in Singapore. And people feel that the mechanic is very fresh, very interesting, and they've never seen something like that. And at the same time, it's quite easy to get into. And there is, of course, we add additional layers if players want an additional layer into the game. So for example, you remember I was talking about the British. We did have the British over here because it will add too much layer into the game. So what this British card does is that we add this British card into like 5 cards from the deck at the bottom. And if the British cards do appear, what will happen is that their scoring system will be different. So example, let's say the Secret Society have all these cards right now in the market right now.
Okay.
So if the British do appear, they will be juggling with the Secret Society for the goods. So the British will take all the goods that is marked British under them, while the Secret Society will take all the goods under themselves. Then there will be a split scoring, whereby whatever is the British good is now scored double. Those that are under Secret Society will still score as usual in the simple mode. Okay, so what it means is that there is a tug and war of this British card, because if you do not want the British card to appear, you will want to slot card on top to ensure. So there are all these cards that allows you to slot card on top, and then if you do want the British card to appear, you want to slot at the bottom. So it also depends on the strategy that you are playing. If you want to score a lot of points, you'll be collecting mainly British goods, because once the British appear, your goods will be worth a lot more. But let's say I am trying to collect the Secret Society, I have to prevent the British from coming out to be competing with me for my goods. So I'll be pushing cards and competing. So there will be a tug of war in between the deck. At the same time, we are just trying to collect the things and try to see where the flow is going. So this add more layer. And of course, if you want even more layers, we have the individual merchant cards that has different gameplay bonus mechanism. And you can direct your energy towards trying to fulfill this one, and they will give you much more points based on whatever merchant that you're playing.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is a very big game in a very small box.
We try to do that.
That is unbelievable. Question for you: how is it historically accurate? I
Yes,
mean,
it's
these things
historically,
happened.
Yeah, in fact, we had an event with the Asia Civilization Museum. It's called Wan Qing Yuan. So it is where the Sun Yat-sen stay in Singapore. So the Sun Yat-sen is the father of the revolution in China. They stay in Singapore at one point in time when he's fighting against the Qing dynasty. And the place that he's staying became a national monument. And we have been invited there to showcase the game along with the exhibits over there, because at that point of time they are actually doing an exhibit on secret society and Chinese immigrants and merchants staying in Singapore, and they said, wow, this game is so accurate. We would like our audience, our participants, our museum goers to play this game. So we spent 3 weekends over at the National Monument to demonstrate this game, to educate them through gameplay about the history of Singapore.
That is unbelievable. I love that. How many players does it take?
2 to 5.
2 to 5 is pretty good. And time to play?
I guess it's based on the number of players. It's around 25 minutes to 40 minutes, thereabouts, yeah.
So that's not, I mean, considering that it's a fairly thinky, quite varied game, it's not a particularly long one either.
We try to keep it short because attention span in Singapore is still, we haven't reached the stage of medium weight games about for 1 hour, so we try to keep it within the 30 to 40 minutes range.
I absolutely love that. Is this going to be available internationally after Spiel?
Same problem. You will be mainly available in Asia and Southeast Asia. So I guess the only way to get it is when we travel for conventions. Yeah.
go to your local stores and begin to pester them to bring these games to your shores, because these should be anywhere and they are the ones who can make it happen. So please go and ask for them. Thank you very much indeed. That's looking absolutely lovely. I cannot wait to see what your next game is.
Yeah, let's look at the next game.